Hello, friends, and welcome to Miss Sheila's famous Funtime stories. Can you figure out what we're going to be talking about today? I'm going to give you a hint. We have 1, 2, 3 pigs, and we have 1, 2, 3 Billy Goat's gruff. We have 1, 2, 3 little kittens, and over here, well, she'll see them better later, 3 bears with all their stories, all their things that they need. Here, let's move it so you can see it. So we're going to be talking about stories with 3s today, and I'm going to start with the story of the 3 Billy Goats Gruff. And the one I'm going to be reading to you is the one by Jerry Pinkney. Because 3 Billy Goats Gruff is just an old story, and many people have written books and drawn their own pictures, and I like his. He has a little twist in the end. The 3 Billy Goats Gruff. A long time ago, on a rocky side of a river lived a family of 3 hungry Billy Goats Gruff. The wild grasses flourished on the other side of the river, where the sun always shone brightest. And under the bridge, passing over that water, there lived a troll with a heart of stone who guarded the crossing day and night. The Billy Goats became so tempted by the tasty-looking grasses that they were determined to get to the other side of the river. But the water was deep and was full of fish, some of them even larger than the goats. The littlest and hungriest goat was the first to march toward the crossing. Here he is. He goes, trip, trap, trip, trap. Bravely, that little Billy Goat Gruff trotted across the bridge. Who's that? The troll. Who's that trapping over my bridge? Roared the selfish troll. Trip, trap, trip, trap. It is only I, the littlest Billy Goat squeaked. I'm heading up the hillside to make myself fat. I'm going to gobble you up, declared the troll. Oh no, don't eat me, cried the littlest goat. Wait until the next Billy Goat crosses. He's much bigger than me. These pages like to get stuff. Well, go on then. You're nothing but skin and bones, and I want to fix a hearty stew. The littlest goat went across, and there he is, munch, 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 eating the grass. Next, the second Billy Goat Gruff stomped across the bridge. Trip, trap, trip, trap. Who's that trapping over my bridge? Shouted the nasty troll. It's only I, the second Billy Goat bleated. I'm heading up the hillside to make myself fat. I'm going to gobble you up, the troll growled. Oh no, don't eat me, begged the second goat. Big Billy Goat Gruff will be crossing soon. Then get out of the way, you scrawny creature. Big Billy Goat Gruff will make a much tastier meal. So see, the second Billy Goat made it across. He's eating the grass, munch, munch. Before long, the biggest Billy Goat Gruff stormed across the bridge. Crack! Crash! Who's that trapping over my bridge? Howled the greedy troll. It is I, the biggest Billy Goat announced. I'm heading up the hillside to make myself fat. I'm going to gobble you up, the troll thundered. Try if you dare. The biggest Billy Goat bellowed right back. The troll scowled. the goat charged, and then bam! Looky at her, it goes right off the bridge. Splash! Gulp. Who's that splish splashing in my river? It's only I, the troll squeaked. I'm going to gobble you up. Look at that fish. But the troll was probably a bit too sour and green to make a tasty meal. The troll watched in defeat as a herd of billy goats joined their friends on the hillside. And over where the sun shone brightest and the wild grasses flourished, the billy goats would fill their bellies. And that is the end. And there's the troll looking very unhappy. So that's the three billy goats gruff. Now, I think I'm gonna do the three little pigs. And I don't actually have a book with the three little pigs in it because all of ours are missing from the library. But I thought I could just tell you the story of the three little pigs here. Okay, so once upon a time, there were three little pigs, and their mother said to them, "It's time for you pigs to go out into the world and make your own life." And so they said, "Okay, Mom," and they started off. And on the way, the first little pig met a man with a bundle of straw, and he said, "Hello, sir, could I please buy some of your straw to make myself a house?" And the man said, "Sure, here you go." And he gave him some straw, and he made himself a nice straw house. And his sister walked on, and she came to a man who was selling some sticks. And she said, "Excuse me, sir, but could I please buy some of those sticks? Because I would like to make myself a house." And he said, "Of course you may." And he sold her some sticks, and she built herself a little house made of sticks. Now the third little pig decided he wanted a house that was much bigger and better and sturdier. And he found a man selling bricks. And he said very politely, "Excuse me, sir, but could you sell me some of those bricks so that I might build myself a house?" And he said, "Yes." And he built himself a house of bricks. And everything was going along just fine until who came knocking at the door? But the big, hungry wolf. He went, little pig, let me come in." And you know what the little pig said. He said, "Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin." He said, "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." And he huffed and he puffed and he blew in the straw house. Uh-oh, kittens are falling. Let's get rid of kittens. And this is what it looked like after he blew it down. And this little pig ran and ran and ran and ran and ran until he got to his sister's house made of sticks. And she said, come in. This wolf won't get us here." But the big bad wolf followed them to the wooden house, and he said, little pig, let me come in." And the pig said, "Not by the hair of our chinny chin chins." "Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in." And he blew down the house made of sticks. And then the two little pigs ran and ran and ran and ran and ran until they got to the brothers' brick house. And the wolf came along and he said, little pig, let me come in. And the three pigs said, not by the hair of our chinny chin chins. Then I'll huff and I'll puff and I'll blow your house in. And he huffed and he puffed and he huffed again. But he couldn't blow the house in. He was very, very upset. Wait a minute, I have an upset wolf here. What am I going to do now? And then he said, I know, I have an idea. So he climbed on to the roof of the house and he tried to come down the chimney. But the pigs were ready for him and they put a big kettle of water in the fireplace. And when the wolf came down the chimney, he fell into the hot water and he went boom, back up out of the chimney and he ran and ran and ran away. And the little pigs were safe after that. And they all lived together in the little brick house, which has disappeared. Here's our little brick house. And so they all lived happily ever after. So I wanted to read that story to you because I have this story, which is called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs. And it's written by John Seska, but it says it's written by A. Wolf, as told to John Seska, illustrated by Lane Smith. So this is what's called a fractured fairy tale, because sometimes they take fairy tales and they change them and they kind of make them funny. So this is a fractured fairy tale. And I have to give you a warning that in this one, the pigs get eaten. Well, some of the pigs get eaten. So if you don't want to hear a story with the pigs getting eaten, block your ears, because it's very, very funny, but they don't make it to the other house. Everybody knows the story of the three little pigs, or at least they think they do, but I'll let you in on a little secret. Nobody knows the real story because nobody has ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this whole big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Maybe it's because of our diet. Hey, it's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you were big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. And this is the real story. Way back and once upon a time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So I walked down the street to ask my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Well, this neighbor was a pig, and he wasn't too bright either. He had built his house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a house out of straw? So of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk into someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? But there was no answer. I was just about to go home without the cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake, and my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed a great sneeze. Achoo! And you know what? The whole darn straw house fell down. And right in the middle of the pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw. So I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just lying there. I was feeling a little better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar. So I went to the next neighbor's house, and this neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house of sticks. I rang the bell on the stick house, and nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And he yelled back, go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hairs on my chinny chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great big sneeze. Choo! And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brother's. And when the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open. So I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full. But my cold was feeling a little better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake, so I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second little pig's brother. He must have been the brains of the family, because he had built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? And do you know what that rude little porker announced? Get out of here, wolf. Don't bother me again. Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear, sweet old granny's birthday cake. What a pig. I was just about to go home and maybe make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on, and I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed once again. And then the third little pig yelled, and your old granny can sit on a pin. Now, I'm usually a pretty calm fellow, but when somebody talks about my granny like that, I go a little crazy. When the cops drove up, of course, I was trying to break down the pig's door, and the whole time I was huffing and puffing and sneezing and making a real scene. The rest, as they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the 2 pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all of that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made the big bad wolf. That's it, the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar. That's the end. That one. So I had these guys. Let's see if I can get them back up here if they'll stay. These are the 3 little kittens. I'm going to read you the story of the 3 little kittens by Paul Galdone. And this is a nursery rhyme. Oh my goodness, a chair fell. The three little kittens, they lost their mittens, and they began to cry. Oh, mother dear, we sadly fear our mittens we have lost. What? Lost your mittens, you naughty kittens? Then you shall have no pie. Meow, 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 meow. The three little kittens found their mittens, and they began to cry. Oh, mother dear, see here, our mittens we have found. What, found your mittens, you good little kittens? Then you shall have some pie. Purr, purr, purr. The three little kittens put on their mittens and soon ate up the pie. Oh, mother dear, we greatly fear our mittens we have soiled. What? Soiled your mittens, you naughty kittens? Then they began to sigh. Meow, meow, meow. The three little kittens washed their mittens and hung them up to dry. Oh, mother dear, look here, our mittens we have washed. What? Washed your mittens, you darling kittens. But hush, I smell a rat close by. Yes, we smell a rat close by. Meow, meow, meow. And that's the end. Now, I have one more story. And some of them have fallen down. Let me see here. Papa Bear and the chair. Let me move Papa Bear down. I don't think you can see him. Can you see that other chair? Okay. So I'm going to do this one. Let me move it down here so you can see that a little bit better. This is called the Three Bears Chant. So I have to get I'm going to go. Once upon a time in a nursery rhyme, there were three bears. One was the Papa Bear, one was the Mama Bear, one was the little wee bear. They all went a-walking in the deep woods a-talking when along came a girl with long flowing hair. She knocked on the door, but no one was there. She went right in, she didn't care. Home came the three bears. Someone's been eating my porridge, said the Papa Bear, said the Papa Bear. Someone's been eating my porridge, said the Mama Bear, said the Mama Bear. Hey, Mama Me Bear, said the little wee bear, someone's eating mine all up. Oh. Someone's been sitting in my chair, said the Papa Bear, said the Papa Bear. Someone's been eating my porridge, said the Mama Bear, said the Mama Bear. Hey, Mama Me Bear, said the little wee bear, someone has broken my chair. Oh. Someone's been sleeping in my bed, said the Papa Bear, said the Papa Bear. Someone's been sleeping in my bed, said the Mama Bear, said the Mama Bear. Hey, Mama Me Bear, said the little wee bear, someone's in my bed. Oh. So Goldilocks woke up. She broke up the party. She ran right out of there. Bye, 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 said the Papa Bear, said the Papa Bear. Bye, 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 said the Mama Bear, said the Mama Bear. Hey, Mama Bee Bear, said the little wee bear. Bye, 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 bye. Oh, and that's the end of our story. Yay! So that's it for our threes threes today. The 3 bears and the 3 billy goats Gruff and the 3 little pigs and the 3 little kittens. There's lots of stories with threes in them. And do you remember I talked about this story being a fractured fairy tale? Well, the next time I do story time, I'm going to be doing some more fractured fairy tales. So I hope that you join me because they're very, very funny and they're always enjoyable. Okay, so have a good 2 weeks. Bye-bye, everybody.